There's a moment right before you turn the key when a car either feels like a machine or it feels like something you actually want to be in. The 2026 Mazda CX-90 is built for that second feeling. Let's start with what you see first. This is the biggest Mazda has ever built, and it shows. Long hood, short overhangs, a wide stance that pulls your eye down the entire length of the body. Mazda calls this design language Kodo, soul of motion, and on the CX-90, it finally has the size to really breathe. The front end is clean, almost restrained, with a signature 5-point grille and slim LED headlights that taper back into the fenders. No fake vents, no chrome overload, no trying too hard, just confident sculpted metal. And at just over 199 inches long and riding on a nearly 123-inch wheelbase, this thing has genuine road presence. It doesn't need to shout to get noticed. Open the door and the story changes tone completely. This is where Mazda wanted you to feel the difference between premium and luxury. Step up to the signature trim and you're sitting on Nappa leather, surrounded by real Japanese sen wood trim and brushed aluminum, not plastic, pretending to be either. There's a quilted stitching pattern on the seats that looks handmade, because a lot of the finishing work actually is. 3 rows, seating for up to 7 or 8 depending on configuration, and Mazda didn't just tack a 3rd row on as an afterthought. There's genuine adult usable space back there, with a 2nd row that slides and tilts to make getting in and out painless. Cargo space is generous too, especially with that 3rd row folded flat. Now let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where the CX-90 quietly separates itself from the crowd. The standard engine is a turbocharged 3.3-litre inline-six, sending up to 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic and standard all-wheel drive. An inline-six, in this segment, in this class, that's rare, and it's a big part of why this thing feels smoother and more effortless than a typical Turbo 4 rival. If you want even more, there's the CX-90 PHEV, a plug-in hybrid pairing a 2.5-litre 4-cylinder with an electric motor for a combined 323 horsepower, plus enough battery range to handle a daily commute on electricity alone before the gas engine ever wakes up. Either way, power gets to the ground through Mazda's iActive all-wheel drive system, which is constantly reading the road and shifting torque before you even feel the need for it. And because the engine sits longitudinally, front to back, weight distribution is closer to 50-50, which you can genuinely feel in how planted this SUV stays through a corner. Step back inside and look up front, and the technology is just as thoughtful. A 12.3-inch driver display sits alongside a 12.3-inch center touchscreen running Mazda Connect with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Higher trims bring a 12-speaker Bose surround sound system that's genuinely one of the best in this class. On the safety side, Mazda's iActive Sense suite comes packed in: adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and a 360-degree camera system that makes threading this big SUV into tight parking spots far less stressful than it sounds. As for trims and pricing, the CX-90 lineup starts with the Select trim in the mid-40s, moves through Preferred and Premium Plus, and tops out with the Signature trim we've been talking about, which pushes toward the low $60,000 depending on how you configure it. That puts it squarely in range-topping territory against the X7 and Range Rover, but at a noticeably lower entry point, without giving up the materials or the drive quality that make those names worth mentioning in the first place. So here's what I want to know. Would you go for the inline-six for that effortless power, or the plug-in hybrid for the extra efficiency? And which trim would actually make it into your driveway? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if you're into deep dives like this on real cars, no fluff, no fake reveals, hit subscribe because there's a lot more coming.